I've stated this over and over again. It's always going to be a situation where these third party games that are exclusive to one platform or the other at some point come to the other platforms. And it just makes a lot of sense for that to happen. And it's happened again. PlayStation had this game exclusive for a while, and a lot of people liked it. People were talking about it and kind of excited about it or whatever. And now it's coming to Xbox. And not only is it coming to Xbox, but it's coming to Game Pass, where it should do quite well because, for instance, it was a game that I'm interested in. And listen, when I say this, some people go, well, that's what Microsoft does. They've conditioned you to like Game Pass and not buy games. Well, listen, I buy more games than anybody I know. So I think that's a terrible argument to make to me when I have, like 1,200 games installed on my Xbox. But, a game like this was one that I had, some interest in playing, but I wasn't sure if it would be for me. And I think that's where Game Pass really shines, right? So that's one of the things that I kind of wanted to point out is that sometimes when people go, oh, well, I'm going to wait for something to come to Game Pass, it's not because they're cheap or they can't afford it or whatever. It's because they maybe aren't sure if it's going to be for them. We used to live in an age on the 360 where everything got a demo, and now nothing really gets a demo, and so we don't know, and games are expensive. So now we see that there's a lot of these games that are actually going to go into Game Pass, and like I had no idea that this would go in Game Pass, but I knew that I didn't want to pay $30-$40 for it on PlayStation, and so now that's kind of paid off. And it's not like I had nothing to play because I had plenty to play. So Microsoft announced what's coming to Game Pass this month, the rest of the games, and some cool stuff, including a former PlayStation exclusive called Fist, Forged in Shadow. It's finally coming to Xbox, and it's actually a pretty good lineup of games. They've announced a new games that's going to be adding to Game Pass in the ever-growing catalog with the second wave of additions for the month of June, and there's a couple of pretty notable titles for subscribers to look forward to. Chief among them is probably Need for Speed Unbound, which I gotta be honest, I played Need for Speed Unbound with the free trial or whatever, because if you have EA Play or whatever that it's called nowadays, you get 10 hours of trial time of their games. And so when that game had come out, I actually played it and enjoyed it quite a bit. So I think that's probably a game that I'll go back to. And you might go, well, why didn't you just buy it? Well, listen, I knew that it was going to go into EA Play. Usually these games go in, 8, 12 months after launch, and that's exactly the case here. So you knew that it was going to go there. So yeah, that was one of the situations for me anyway. So that's pretty cool that they're going to be able to have that to play just in a couple days on June 22nd. Another major new title to look forward to is Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch. It's an acclaimed steampunk Metroidvania launched on PS5 in 2021 before coming... no, it's finally going to be coming to the Xbox Series X and S on June 27th as well. So that's really good that it's actually coming there to sort of showcase what can be one of the better things on this list. It was pretty well received. People seem to like it, which I think is cool. A lot of people get to play games that they maybe would never play before. Like, I'll be honest, there's a ton of games like that, and so when people go, oh, well, you don't buy games or whatever, I'll give you a good example, like Ghostwire Tokyo. That's a game that I absolutely loved, and I wouldn't have played it. I wouldn't have bothered to play it if it wasn't for the fact that it was in, Game Pass. So there's been multiple games like that over the years since Game Pass has been a thing. It doesn't mean that I don't buy games. I don't usually wait for games like if something big is coming out. It's like I'm not going to go, well, I'm not going to buy Call of Duty this year. I'm going to wait and see if it goes into Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. Like, I bought Street Fighter, the new Street Fighter. I bought Hogwarts Legacy. I bought Diablo 4 when all likelihood is, let's just say that this deal with Activision closes. At some point, that game is definitely going to go into Game Pass, but I didn't want to wait for those things. So I more or less really wanted to just kind of have something. I buy the games that I'm most interested in, and then there's always some of these little surprises to play to kind of keep you busy for Game Pass and things like that. So yeah, I think that Microsoft has done a pretty good job. It had been a pretty, I don't want to say lackluster, but it had been a pretty weak month so far this month. So it's nice to see that they're going kind of all out with the rest of this news and the rest of these games, because they look pretty good. And, I can't wait to kind of jump in there and give them a try. And again, it's not a knock on anybody or anything per se. It's just one of those things that I'm kind of excited about. Like, I get to play some of these games for a change, and I like that idea. And obviously there's big games still coming, and I play those, and I'm excited to kind of jump in and be able to have some of these other things to game. And that's where I think Game Pass is really kind of taking it up a notch. Like with this Fist game, it's like a day one Game Pass game, and that's a very smart thing for developers to do, quite honestly, because if you think about it, you have these games that are probably going to they have already been released on other platforms, and now they're going to be able to release on Xbox, and they're going to be running Game Pass, so people are going to be able to kind of try and see what they can actually offer everybody involved. So yeah, that's going to be fun to see. I'm excited. I know probably a lot of you are excited as well to see what happens. And again, Microsoft has done a lot of adjusting on these types of things, because Game Pass isn't perfect, but there's still some tweaking and things like that they're doing to make sure that everybody has something fun to play, or something different to play. So I love that fact about Game Pass. People go, they think they pigeonhole every Xbox gamer. Oh, the Game Pass is they you only will wait for games to come in Game Pass, you won't buy anything. It's like, you can't really pigeonhole people, in my opinion. I feel like gamers are going to buy games, they're gonna play games through Game Pass. It's just a fun thing, in my opinion. So again, to be able to see that, and to be able to see that gamers are getting these amazing deals and things like that, I think is really cool. And to be able to play some things that maybe weren't on your radar before. And I think that's what gamers and that's what developers like to see, and gamers in general like to kind of do that. So I love that. I love this fact that this stuff is happening. Cool to see this game. I'm going to give it a tryout for sure on Xbox, and hopefully we see some cool stuff and what's going on. So we'll see what's going on. Thanks for watching. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. If you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like. Are you guys going to give this stuff a try, or no? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Crap Gamer out.